Thank you to all of our sponsors for making our Computex 2023 coverage possible. Hey guys, carrying on with our Computex 2023 coverage, we're here with MSI, and they've actually got, as you'd expect, a lot of new stuff, and this is one of them. It's called Project Zero. Gotta admit, it is very, very nice to look at. It's a white case. It has obviously got some, let's say, slight influences from height or from the likes of Lian Li with the O11 Dynamic, but that seems to be kind of the way that the market's heading a little bit now. But it has got some unique features. Obviously, it has got the whole kind of wrapping around fishbowl design. This is called the Vampiric Project Zero case, but if we were to turn it around, probably this way is easier. What you actually see is, based along with their motherboard, which has all of the connectors on the back, we can see how it's actually going to look inside of a case that's kind of specifically made for that motherboard. So we've got our two EPS 8-pin connectors up here, fan connectors, 24-pin down here. We've got all of our front panel down at the bottom as well. So it has all of the cutouts specific to this particular motherboard. So you'd like to think, obviously, as time goes on, there is going to be more products coming out like this from motherboard vendors, as well as people who are able to make cases. We have seen a few other brands with cases that are, I guess, collaborating with motherboard vendors, but MSI can do it all. So they have got the case and the motherboard, as you can see there, and basically, having two products that work really, really well together. They have got a lot of other stuff here, so we're going to just move over to there and we can start talking about some of that stuff as well. Okay, so over here we have the Prospect. This is the Prospect 700R. Now, they've done things quite differently with this. I think it's more they wanted to showcase, what they're able to do, add some new technologies, add some, innovation to it. So we have got a screen on the top. It's part of their MEG lineup, by the way. Got a screen on top here. You can control the ARGB. So at the moment we've got it on rainbow. We can set it off. It's very, very quick when you change it. It's all controlled through essentially MSI's control center software. So same sort of thing. We can check, fan speed, RPM, change all the fan speed, things like that. It's got two very, very big doors on it, which clip into place. Now, even though it is I guess essentially you'd say the size of it is a mid-tower, they have utilized the space very, very well. So it actually kind of feels more like a full tower inside of the case, which means that we do have room for eATX motherboards inside. We also have the ability to fit the latest and largest graphics cards. So you're talking, I think they said 360mm, so RTX 4090 Supreme X is going to be absolutely fine in there. The side of it, where the motherboard tray is, you can actually remove that, put in a different panel, and then have fans in there. So there's plenty of ventilation around the side that will feed it through. So you've got, really sort of, big, I guess, possibilities when it comes to air cooling. So you have got space in the front for radiators. You have got space in the top as well. You can run them concurrently, so at the top and at the bottom. As I say, what they've actually done with space is really sort of utilized it really, really well. There's a power supply shroud cut out in there as well. It's not cheap, I'm not going to lie. It is going to be quite expensive, but it is kind of the best of the best when it comes to the features that it's got, the quality behind it, things like that. Should be coming out, we're hoping, in about a month or two's time, sort of August, September time maybe, but really, really interesting to see. They have got a lot more stuff here as well, so we're just going to head on over there and then we can talk about that as well. Okay, so this is a really, really interesting one. This is the 300p. They do have another one over there called the 300R. They're both airflow models, but the interesting thing with this is not so much, you can fit a lot in it, as you can see. Plenty of room for fans in the front, plenty of room for fans in the top as well, which they do have displayed on over there. But kind of how modular it is. So it does come with this, I guess, stand for your graphics card. I have made it clear to them I'm not a massive fan of it. I do think it's a bit too big. I prefer something that's a bit more subtle, and I have taken that on board, and maybe that's something that we'll see sort of later on. But the cool things with this is it comes with a riser card, so you can have your GPU in a different orientation if you want. It does also come with a single fan, which is actually on a swivel, which sits sort of just behind this bracket, which is pretty cool. But then the rear as well, you can actually remove it. So if I pull this off, and it is completely toolless as well, so we can remove this one. And this actually has two small fans pre-installed on there. If you don't want to use that one, or you want more than, say, the 4 expansion slots, we have the other one with 4 expansion slots, or we have the slightly different orientation, but with a full amount of expansion slots on there. So you really kind of do get, a great case that, I guess, you can make your own. You can customize it to exactly how you want to. They have also got, just so you can get a better view of of how things look. The stand, which is completely toolless as well. So with this, you can just remove this panel just here, and underneath is a toolless design. And then we've also got the fan itself, and you can see it on that sort of swivel mount, so it can be maneuvered how you want it. Not so much maybe for graphics cards, but more for like M.2 devices, especially with Gen 5 coming out, which, as we all know, is going to get extremely hot. Although we say that, we are going to go look at the Gen 5 drives now, because MSI have done something really crazy with them. Okay, so I was saying they have got something crazy. We all know the MSI drives, the Spatiums. They've got a whole host of them, all the way from, I believe it was Gen 3 when they first came out. They now have Gen 5, and they've got some pretty crazy stuff here, because we've got the Spatium M570, but it's absolutely ridiculous because it has a huge heatsink on there. They have two versions. This one over here, which is the active one, so it's a single fan, but it does also have a single heatsink, a single heat pipe, 6mm, or they've got the passive ones, which they've got something just ridiculous here, and I'll explain why. They've got two here on an Expander Z card, which is obviously a Gen 5 card. These are the passive ones, so they have 3 heat pipes, again 6mm. They have done some weird and wonderful stuff like flattening down the heat pipe, giving you that little bit extra sort of surface area, among other things. But it's the speeds that I want to talk about. So with the single drive that's over here, they are pushing 14 gigabytes per second on the read speed, and they're pushing 12 gigabytes per second on the write speed. Now, they are being a little bit bold with the cooling claims and things like that, up to 30 degrees lower temperatures. They have actually got HW monitor open, and as we can see on there, 44 degrees. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous cooling performance for something that is so fast. And then they took it one step further. So with the Expander Z Gen 5 card, they've got 2 of them on here. I did actually ask if they've tested more than 2. I don't know why you'd need to, because they're getting speeds of 22 gigabytes per second on the read and 23 on the write. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. No one's ever really going to need that performance, but it's kind of like when a Bugatti Veyron breaks a world record or something like that. People just love to see it. We did talk to them about the heatsink design. Maybe, you could actually sell this heatsink separately, let other Gen 5 manufacturers use it. Maybe that's somewhere they're going to go with it, or maybe they want to keep it all in-house. I've got to admit, it is big. Not everyone's going to like it, but it is really the only kind of solution at the moment for getting a Gen 5 under control. And that pretty much covers everything that's going on at MSI at the moment. There is a lot more stuff in terms of notebooks and kind of what they're doing with graphics cards, especially with the fact that graphics cards, we are at a level where performance is, the same, basically card to card, AIB to AIB. So the only thing they can do is look at their cooling performance. But yeah, some really cool stuff going on. We have lots of articles on eTeknix.com for anything else that you want to see. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and we will have a lot more Computex coverage for you very, very soon. I'll see you in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.